hootenanny action.
And then get a drummer in there too, you know?
Oh
Get a
yeah.
full
Oh
sound.
yeah. Maybe one of those radio air bending
A
things.
theremin, yes, a theremin. That would have been perfect for Halloween. Actually, it's very spooky. It's like a very spooky sound.
It sounds spooky. It
Yeah,
sounds
the
like
theremin.
super futuristic, and I don't know if I like it, but we'll go with
Oh,
it.
after this, you have to go on YouTube and just type in like theremin songs or something, and I'm sure something will pop up.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So, okay, instruments. Okay, here's a good question. Guilty pleasure listening. What are your guilty pleasure like songs or guilty pleasure bands that you listen to?
That's a good question. I feel like sometimes, aw, I feel like old One Direction is kind of, it's definitely a guilty pleasure. I don't listen to them all that often, but it brings me back to like early high school where I was a very big One Direction fan. And yeah, so now it's kind of fun to listen to those songs, and super cringy and super gross, but enjoyable nonetheless.
Cringe.
So cringy. Oh, it like pains me just saying it out loud, but it's okay. Gotta be honest.
Yeah, it was an important part in our upcoming, you know. So
Yeah. So yeah, I think that would be definitely guilty pleasure. I don't know. I feel like that might be all of the guilty pleasure kind of music.
okay.
I don't know. What would you say is yours?
Music from animes.
Okay.
Those are all bangers anyway. So
Yeah.
just because those Japanese rock bands really make some good music. But I definitely don't want people like seeing me look those up and listening to them. But I mean, now everybody knows. But I mean, those things they slap though. So, but they're
I mean,
cool.
you gotta give like respect where respect is deserved. That's the word.
Yeah. So that's my guilty pleasure. Songs.
It's so funny though, because like I feel like guilty pleasures like are some people's just it's like some people are just like I just like listen exclusively to One Direction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, oh shit, I'm so embarrassed to like say it, but some people are just like, no, this is life.
Yeah, like people with K-pop right now, they just love that stuff.
Yeah.
So where did you first find these albums or songs?
Which one?
Let's start with your mix that you made. So your Rainbow Kitten Surprise. Let's just start off with that. Where did you first learn about Rainbow Kitten Surprise?
So a couple of my friends were going to a concert, and I was just like, I'm down for some live music. And so I got a ticket, and on the way down to the concert, I hadn't heard any of their stuff, and my friends were kind of like, oh, what's your favorite song, Libbie? And so I scrolled through the album really quick, and I was like, Matchbox, and then we got to the concert, and straight up the best concert I've ever been to was that one, and I had never heard them, and so from that point forward, I was just hooked.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to get used to listening to them on an album rather than in person, which was kind of a weird transition because live music is just
oh yeah, it's something else. It's really
so
something
good.
else.
You get the whole energy, the whole vibe in the room, and you just swimming in it. You know, with an album, it's like, it's good. It suffices, but it's not like completely in depth.
Yeah, because like you could go to like a concert that you don't even like the artist too much, but like the vibe and just like the people and the environment is just so good that you could like them, you know?
Right. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while before we get to hear some live music again, but
it's such a bummer.
Yeah.
It sucks. But c'est la vie. This is the world we live in.
Yeah, just a little bit longer until we can enjoy the live music again.
Yeah.
And a couple more questions. So places of inspiration. So like areas that music have. Wow, my writing is just terrible. So I'll literally like read what I write. Areas that have a music scene that you want people to know about. That's not a really full sentence. And then I put example, Coachella, etc.
Okay. That's a good question.
Yeah, it could be like a bench that you go to or like a tree. I don't know. Places of inspiration.
I would say like somewhere moving. So like right now I'm feeling pretty inspired just like driving and seeing like the passing landscape, and then whenever I'm like walking around, just like walking, you know, just very mundane movement is very inspiring. You know, your mind's able to kind of wander while with like and like follow one thought while there's like so many different variables moving and shifting around. Yeah, so I would say just like
moving.
Like movement. Yeah, I think movement is
that's a cool answer. It's not like a specific place. It's just like it's an action. That's cool.
It's everywhere.
It is everywhere.
Everything's inspiring.
So where do you like to listen to your music the most? Or where do you enjoy listening to music? Wow. My writing is bad.
That's so funny. Where do I like to? I think like it's going to be kind of similar to my previous answer. It would be like in the headspace that fits. How PG is this? Is this like a PG podcast or like?
Yeah, it's pretty PG.
Rated R. It is PG. Okay. Leave that one up to mystery. Yeah, so I would say like when I'm like kind of more like down low, not feeling that great. I think probably like in bed, you know, that's probably my favorite place to listen to music. In the car though.
Oh yeah, in the car is an experience.
Yeah. Yeah, because especially when like I'm by myself, because I just like sing my little heart out. I go off. And that's a lot of fun. Or in my room where I can like let my body go loose and do like listen to music and like really feel it in my body and move and dance in a way that feels really like natural. So I would say, yeah, again, not a really straightforward answer, but those would probably be the places.
Oh, yeah. Good answer, though.
Thanks. I try. Not really, though.
So sometimes we get stuck in a loop of listening to the same songs over and over again, and we get stuck in like a rabbit hole. So what do you do to get out of this situation? Like, where do you draw some creativity from? What's like your creative process on trying to get out of this, get out of the rabbit hole?
So a lot of times it changes. I think reaching out to friends is one way. And And then there is this podcast called Tangentially Speaking, and it's just this guy who like talks to cool people, and they go off on tangents for like an hour, hour and a half. But he usually like intros the interview with like a different song that is kind of inspiring him at the particular moment, and that has kind of opened up my listening to different genres and different artists.
Dang, he gets to use like the music from like popular artists. That's
What was it? This dude on the podcast?
Yeah, the dude on the podcast.
Some of it's kind of popular. I think like it's really all over the place.
Okay.
Sometimes it's like I think he plays like Flatbush Zombies sometimes,
wow.
and then there's like there's a French woman who he kind of featured on one of the episodes. Well, Albert, I think I'm gonna have to go. My phone, and I don't want to lose my.
I mean, you kind of like broke up a little bit, but pretty good first episode. Please share this episode with a friend and follow the instructions if you want to be a guest on the next podcast. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed.